I'll just start off. Okay, so I hope everybody has the PDF. It is the 24th page in the PDF. Starting from the 7 habits, an overview. Did everyone get it?
Yeah, ma'am, got it.
What about you, Fawzia?
Yeah, ma'am, got it.
Okay, sure. Then I'll start. The 7 habits, an overview. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Said by Aristotle. Our character basically is a composite of our habits. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. And the maximum goes. Habits are powerful factors in our lives. Because they're consistent, often unconscious patterns, they constantly, daily express our character and produce our effectiveness or ineffectiveness. As Horace Mann, the great educator, once said, habits are like a cable. We weave a strand of it every day, and soon it cannot be broken. I personally do not agree with the last part of his expression. I know they can be broken. Habits can be learned and unlearned. But I also know it isn't a quick fix. It involves a process and a tremendous commitment. Those of us who watched the lunar voyage of Apollo 11 were transfixed as we saw the first man walk on the moon and return to Earth. Superlatives such as fantastic and incredible were inadequate to describe those eventful days. But to get there, those astronauts literally had to break out of the tremendous gravity pull of the Earth. More energy was spent in the first few minutes of liftoff, in the first few miles of travel, than was used over the next several days to travel 500,000 miles. Habits, too, have tremendous gravity pull, more than most people realize or would admit. Breaking deeply embedded habitual tendencies such as procrastination, impatience, criticalness, or selfishness that violate basic principles of human effectiveness involves more than a little willpower and a few minor changes in our lives. Liftoff takes a tremendous effort, but once we break out of the gravity pull, our freedom takes on a whole new dimension. Like any natural force, gravity pull can work with us or against us. The gravity pull of some of our habits may currently be keeping us from going where we want to go. But it is also gravity pull that keeps our world together, that keeps the planets in their orbits and our universe in order. It is a powerful force, and if we use it effectively, we can use the gravity pull of habit to create the cohesiveness and order necessary to establish effectiveness in our lives. Habits defined. For our purposes, we will define a habit as the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. Knowledge is the theoretical paradigm, the what to do and the why. Skill is the how to do, and desire is the motivation, the want to do. In order to make something a habit in our lives, we have to have all the three. I may be ineffective in my interactions with my work associates, my spouse, or my children because I constantly tell them what I think, but I never really listen to them. Unless I search out correct principles of human interaction, I may not even know how I need to listen. Even if I do know that in order to interact effectively with others, I really need to listen to them, I may not have the skill. I may not know how to really listen deeply to another human being. But knowing I need to listen and knowing how to listen is not enough. It's not enough. Unless I want to listen, unless I have the desire, it won't be a habit in my life. Creating a habit requires work in all three dimensions. The being or seeing change is an upward process. Being changing, seeing, which in turn changes being, and so forth as we move in an upward spiral of growth. By working on knowledge, skill, and desire, we can break through to new levels of personal and interpersonal effectiveness as we break with old paradigms that may have been a source of pseudo security for years. It's sometimes a painful process. It's a change that has to be motivated by a higher purpose, by the willingness to subordinate what you think you want now for what you want later. But this process produces happiness. The object and design of our existence, happiness, the object and design of our existence. Happiness can be defined, in part at least, as the fruit of the desire and ability to sacrifice what we want now for what we want eventually. The maturity continuum TM. The seven habits are not a set of separate or piecemeal psych-up formulas. In harmony with the natural laws of growth, they provide an incremental, sequential, highly integrated approach to the development of personal and interpersonal effectiveness. They move us progressively on a maturity continuum from dependence to interdependence. We each begin life as an infant, totally dependent on others. We are directed, nurtured, and sustained by others. Without this nurturing, we would only live for a few hours or a few days at the most. Then gradually, over the ensuing months and years, we become more and more independent, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially, until eventually we can essentially take care of ourselves, becoming inner director, and self-reliant. As we continue,
Shamnaz, at the end of the
yes,
paragraph, why don't you stop and just discuss what you just spoke? Because the concepts are very deep. Okay, just
yeah,
paragraph wise.
okay.
Okay, yeah. Thank
Yes.
you.
So, okay.
Do it at the end of the paragraph.
Okay, so now shall I start from the where I started?
No. So you finish the paragraph, this one.
Okay.
Okay. And then
Okay.
first paragraph, from the first paragraph or the first two things, just discuss.
Okay, I think this paragraph has more pages, like the one I started, the maturity continuum.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's actually 1, 2. There are 3 more pages.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you can stop wherever you think you need to stop and discuss, please do. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can talk about the previous 2 paragraphs, which I already did.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Murari and Fauzia, if you have your text with you, you can read it. You can discuss what you understood.
Okay. So yeah, so I started with an overview. So it's like I started with what you mean by habits and how important is habits in our life and what are their significance. So I want you people to explain in your own language, like what do you feel about habits? Like, have you tried nurturing any habit in your own life? Or I just wanted to hear from you guys. Fauzian, Paula, anyone?
Yeah.
So you can start.
Habits, it's like there are three things: knowledge, skill, and desires.
Mhm.
So the skill, what we want to do, how to do. Desire is a motivation which we learn, which we take from mentors, parents, and from the elders.
Okay.
And what we wanted to about that, we get motivated from them.
Okay. So
Yeah,
have you
the
tried developing any habit in your own life? Like, have you tried anything before? Like you wanted to start
in
a habit? and you nurtured it. Anything. Like even if it's a small thing, it's fine.
Yeah, I have a habit of petting animals more.
Okay. Do you have a pet?
Feeding them, taking care of them. Yeah.
Okay, you have a pet then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, like, how did you get to know about this? Like, how to pet? Did you like search about it, or did you just know it for yourself?
When I rescued my cat,
Hmm.
that time I was not knowing about more about animals, and I was like, कुछ भी चलेगा. Then
Okay.
later on, I searched on what we need to feed and how we need to feed, and that like that only it has become routine, and now it has become habit.
Okay. Okay. What about Paula? Do you want to say something about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I have a habit of, ma'am, like if I want to do any work, means like it is any, like how much it is tough, or like I don't take care. Like I will work until the succeed that work.
Okay. That's a very good habit.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So I think to discuss here, so here they say the importance, like Fauzia said, we need three things. That is knowledge, then knowledge, skill, and desire. So just take example of
Can I ask you one thing? What do you think is more important, knowledge, skill, or desire? All of you. I want to hear from all of you.
okay. Let the
I
student.
think knowledge, ma'am.
Okay. What about you, Shimnaz?
I think I personally think desire.
Murari?
Yeah, ma'am. I think like desire.
Same here. Even I think it's a desire. It's desire that makes the knowledge and the
Yeah,
skill.
yeah. Yeah, it's like you may have knowledge about many things, but there should be a desire, a strong desire to start a habit and to maintain it.
Yes, yes, I think so too. Good, Fauzi. I'm glad you have your own opinion.
Yeah,
And
I really appreciate that.
yeah, you can go ahead, Shimnaz.
Okay, so we were telling about these three things. So as I said, for example, if you wanna like if you want to build a habit of learning a new language, okay, you need to have the knowledge of what you're gonna learn. Like you have to have some research, so you have to see like how it is gonna work, what are the resources I can use, and you need to have the skill. You need to have the skill like with communication, for the listening, reading, everything, and finally the desire. Okay, when you have the desire, you just get stuck onto it. Okay, if you think like, oh, okay, it's fine, I'll just read for 2 days and I'll see for myself. No, if you want to just learn a language, you have to have that desire that yes, I need to learn this. I need to have a new what language in me. So that is the desire. So if you have that strong desire, automatically you will search for new, new information about it, new skills you will develop. So everything depends on your desire. If you don't have a desire, so everything will be futile. Okay, so that's what they say. And they have mentioned about a gravity pull by giving an example of the Apollo 11. So here by the that sentence, that a tremendous gravity pull. So the thing with habits is we all have noticed, like we will start, see for example, just a very small thing, waking up at 5 a.m. Like previously we did read a book about 5 a.m. book club. So in that, if you want to wake up daily 5 a.m., you need to have the desire to wake up, right? What we do, we start a habit, but eventually we stop it, right? We stop it and we just forget about it. So that's not what a habit is. That's why some people say you have to do the same thing for at least 21 days to make it a habit. Maybe it's wrong or right, I don't know, but it means that you have to have that consistency in your life. If you want to wake up 5 a.m., you have to do that every day without leaving one day. Okay, so that is the gravity pull. You have to like keep it, maintain it, and you have to be consistent with it and don't break it. And it is like fine if you if it is broken or not. Like the author says, sometimes it is broken, but you need to have that willpower to bring it back. Okay, you have to start over. So that's what he says here. So that's what he means by the gravity pull that we should have, like to keep everything together. Okay, is that clear?
Okay. Yeah, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in the next paragraph also it's about like they have just told about habits. Like if you want, or if you guys need any explanation somewhere, I think it's pretty much the same. Or shall I continue to read?
It's
Continue.
yeah. I think Fauzia wants you to continue. Let's continue.
Okay, sure. So I've started with the maturity continue. Okay, we stopped here. Okay, it's the last line. As we continue to grow and mature, we become increasingly aware that all of nature is interdependent, that there is an ecological system that governs nature, including society. We further discover that the higher reaches of our nature have to do with our relationship with others, that human life is also interdependent. Our growth from infancy to adulthood is in accordance with natural law, and there are many dimensions to growth. Reaching our full physical maturity, for example, does not necessarily assure us of simultaneous emotional or mental maturity. On the other hand, a person's physical dependence does not mean that he or she is mentally or emotionally immature. Okay? On the maturity continuum, dependence is the paradigm of you. You take care of me, you come through for me. You didn't come through, I blame you for the results. Independence is the paradigm of I. I can do it. I am responsible. I am self-reliant. I can choose. I can choose. Interdependence is the paradigm of we. We can do it. We can cooperate. We can combine our talents and abilities and create something greater together. So it's kind of an important, I think, important lines you need to have in your mind. The way he has described is very beautiful. I think I will discuss it later. Dependent people need others to get what they want. Independent people can get what they want through their own effort. Interdependent people combine their own efforts with the efforts of others to achieve their greatest success. If I were physically dependent, like paralyzed or disabled or limited in some physical way, I would need you to help me. If I were emotionally dependent, my sense of worth and security would come from your opinion of me. If you didn't like me, it could be devastating. If I were intellectually dependent, I would count on you to do my thinking for me, to think through the issues and problems of my life. If I were independent physically, I could pretty well make it on my own. Mentally, I could think my own thoughts. I could move from one level of abstraction to another. I could think creatively and analytically and organize and express my thoughts in understandable ways. Emotionally, I would be validated from within. I would be inner director. My sense of worth would not be a function of being liked or treated well. It's easy to see that independence is much more mature than dependence. Independence is a major achievement in and of itself, but independence is not supreme. Nevertheless, the current social paradigm enthrones independence. It is the avowed goal of goal of many individuals and social movements. Most of the self-improvement material puts independence on a pedestal, as though communication, teamwork, and cooperation were lesser values. Nevertheless, the current social paradigm enthrones independence. I think it is repeated. I think the lines are repeated. I'll just move on to the next slide. But much of our current emphasis on independence is a reaction to dependence, to having others control us, define us, use us, and manipulate us. The little understood concept of interdependence appears to many to smack of dependence, and therefore we find people, often for selfish reasons, leaving their marriages, abandoning their children, and forsaking all kinds of social responsibility, all in the name of independence. The kind of reaction that results in people throwing off their shackles, becoming liberated, asserting themselves, and doing their own thing often reveals more fundamental dependencies that cannot be run away from because they are internal rather than external dependencies, such as letting the weaknesses of other people ruin our emotional lives or feeling victimized by people and events out of our control. Of course, we may need to change our circumstances, but the dependence problem is a personal maturity issue that has little to do with circumstances. Even with better circumstances, immaturity and dependence often persist. True independence of character empowers us to act rather than be acted upon. It frees us from our dependence on circumstances and other people and is a worthy, liberating goal. But it is not the ultimate goal in effective living. Independent thinking alone is not suited to interdependent reality. Independent people who do not have the maturity to think and act interdependently may be good individual producers, but they won't be good leaders or team players. They are not coming from the paradigm of interdependence necessary to succeed in marriage, family, or organization reality. Life is by nature highly interdependent. To try to achieve maximum effectiveness through independence is like trying to play tennis with a golf club. The tool is not suited to the reality. Interdependence is a far more mature, more advanced concept. If I am physically interdependent, I am self-reliant and capable, but I also realize that you and I working together can accomplish far more than even at my best I could accomplish alone. If I am emotionally interdependent, I derive a great sense of worth within myself, but I also recognize the need for love, for giving, and for receiving love from others. If I am intellectually interdependent, I realize that I need the best thinking of other people to join with my own. As an interdependent person, I have the opportunity to share myself deeply, meaningfully with others, and I have access to the vast resources and potential of other human beings. Interdependence is a choice only independent people can make. Dependent people cannot choose to become interdependent. They don't have the character to do it. They don't own enough of themselves. That's why habits 1, 2, and 3 in the following chapters deal with self-mastery. They move a person from dependence to independence. They are the private victories, the essence of character growth. Private victories precede public victories. You can't invert that process anymore, that you can harvest a crop before you plant it. It's inside out. As you become truly independent, you have the foundation for effective interdependence. You have the character base from which you can effectively work on the more personality-oriented public victories of teamwork, cooperation, and communication in habits 4, 5, and 6. That does not mean you have to be perfect in habits 1, 2, and 3 before working on habits 4, 5, and 6. Understanding the sequence will help you manage your growth more effectively, but I am not suggesting that you put yourself in isolation for several years until you fully develop habits 1, 2, and 3. As part of an interdependent world, you have to relate to that world every day. But the acute problems of that world can easily obscure the chronic character causes. Understanding how what you are impacts every interdependent interaction will help you to focus your efforts sequentially in harmony with the natural laws of growth. Habit 7 is the habit of renewal, a regular balanced renewal of the 4 basic dimensions of life. It circles and embodies all the other habits. It is the habit of continuous improvement that creates the upward spiral of growth that lifts you to new levels of understanding and living each of the habits as you come around to them on a progressively higher plane. The diagram on the next page is a visual representation of the sequence and the interdependence of the 7 habits, and will be used throughout this book as we explore both the sequential relationship between the habits and also their synergy. How in relating to each other, they create bold new forms of each other that add even more to their value. Each concept or habit will be highlighted as it is introduced. Okay, so it's pretty much a very lengthy topic, the paragraph. So what do you guys think about this paragraph? Like, what have you understood? Anyone?
Here, and the author has showed the difference between the dependent and interdependent.
Okay, difference between 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you understood in that, like about dependent, or about being independent, or about being interdependent? Like, what have you understood in the following? Anything, you can just say whatever you understood. Are you there? Hello?
Oh, sorry, you're asking for
But
me.
yeah,
I
please.
thought for Murari you're asking.
Oh, okay, okay. No, anybody's fine. Anybody's fine. Like, whatever you understood from the paragraph.
Yeah, see, dependent people do not have character. They depend upon the people.
Okay.
If they show the route, they will follow up the routes. They don't create their own things, but the dependent people create own victory by their own thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you like understand by the word interdependent?
Interdependent is a choice only of dependent people can make.
Okay.
Dependent people cannot choose to become an interdependent.
Okay.
So the independent people only can choose this.
Okay. What about Murari?
Yeah. Uh, I have understood about like independent means like who are like working by their own and like living by themselves. And like independent, like dependent means like relying on others, like how they like show the route, like they will go under that. I think so.
Okay. So here the author says about 3 situations, right? Dependence, interdependent, and independent and interdependence. So here, like, if you say when you are born, like till a point of age, you are dependent on your parents, right? After that, you start studying, you start working, and you become independent. So that's how it goes, the maturity of continuum. The life starts from dependency, and then it goes to independent. And then when you finally have your own family, like you have a wife, you have children, you have to take care of them. So that is the stage when you become interdependent. At that point of time, at that point of stage, you're independent. You are making your own choices. Everything is like you're doing yourself, but still you are also like considering your wife or like your spouse, your partner, and your children, everybody. So that is what the author meant by interdependence. It is like you have to see them also, you have to see for yourself also. So I think in today's world it is very important. Okay, so when you become dependent, you're dependent on everybody, like everything what you are not like able to make your own choices, you are not able to work for yourself, you don't do anything for yourself, you just depend on others, like what people say you just do. So that is a very negative thing which we can have in our life. Never like Dependency is fine until an age, like you keep depending on your parents, it is fine, it is normal. But after some point of time, being dependent on other people is a very negative thing that can happen in your life. Some people become very dependent on, like, whoever comes to their life, their friends or anyone else, like they become so dependent, they start losing, like, their self dignity, their self respect, everything. They just start doing whatever other people say. So that's what the other says by dependence. So these people can never think out of the box. Okay, these can people can never make decisions, and like Fauzia said, these people can never be interdependent. When these people will have a family in the future, what will they do? They can't take decisions for themselves. How are they gonna take decisions for their partner, their children, and the future? So that's what the author meant by saying dependent people cannot be interdependent. And coming to independent is fine. Like, the able to think independently is great. Like, you can do yourself. Okay, I can do this. I can do anything. I can say anything. I can work on my wish. Everything is fine. So that's a stage of life. But sometimes what independence also, like, after, too much is too bad, right? So same thing when you become too independent, like, in today's world, people, like, all the social media, everything portrays people of, like, their independent life. They go for trips independently, like solo trips. They live their life as they want. So that is something which we get influenced, right? We see those people, we were like, oh, okay, even I want to go on trips like that, like solo trips. Even I want to do something for myself. Everything is good. But at some point of time, what happens? This independence, they start thinking like, yes, it is just about me. I don't want to, like, it's all about me. I just don't want to listen to others. I don't want to listen to anybody. Like, some people, they leave their marriages. They start getting ending up in divorces. They start abandoning their children in the name of independence. All they think is, I can handle you, I can handle my children, because I want to be independent in my life. I want to work for myself. I can't keep looking after my children until they grow up. So that is the disadvantage of becoming more independent. So all the author is saying, we need to have some balance in our life. That is the stage called interdependence, where you are able to decide for yourself, and also to take care of your partner, your children, your parents, everybody. So that is what nature works by. Look, all the nature, we are interdependent. We are dependent on everything. Like if you see, we are, for food, we are dependent on farmers. For, like, anything you take, we are dependent on other people. So it is a law. It is nature's law that we are interdependent. So you should be accepting that you can't be, like, completely independent. You have to be dependent on few aspects to work your life through. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Any doubts? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to discuss? Guys?
No. No, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am, shall I continue, ma'am?
Yes, Shimnas, but just look at how big the next paragraph is or whatever, because
Okay.
we want to start a new chapter, right?
Okay. I think,
But just take a look and then start, because if you start something and there's not enough time, we can always discuss further.
hmm.
We can spend the time discussing instead of this thing, because we can
It
do.
keeps going actually. This chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So okay, there are 7 or 8 pages.
Okay.
Wait, let me see.
No, you don't have to read the whole chapter per se.
Okay,
But,
you're saying paragraphs wise, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I have this next paragraph is short, but the second one is a little bit longer. So I think I'll read the next one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we'll continue. Effectiveness defined. The 7 habits are habits of effectiveness because They are based on principles. They bring the maximum long term beneficial results possible. They become the basis of a person's character, creating an empowering center of correct maps from which an individual can effectively solve problems, maximize opportunities, and continually learn and integrate other principles in an upward spiral of growth. There are also habits of effectiveness because they are based on a paradigm of effectiveness that is in harmony with the natural law. A principle one, the principle I call the P by PC balance, which may which many people break themselves against. This principle can be easily understood by remembering Aesop's fable of the goose and the golden egg. TM. This fable is the story of a poor farmer which one day discovers in the nest of his pet goose a glittering golden egg. At first, he thinks it must be some kind of trick, but as he starts to throw the egg aside, he has second thoughts and takes it in to be appraised instead. The egg is pure gold. The farmer can't believe his good fortune. He becomes even more incredulous the following day when the experience is repeated. Day after day, he awakens to rush to the nest and find another golden egg. He becomes fabulously wealthy. It all seems too good to be true. But with his increasing wealth comes greed and impatience. Unable to wait day after day for the golden eggs, the farmer decides he will kill the goose and get them all at once. But when he opens the goose, he finds it empty. There are no golden eggs, and now there is no way to get any more. The farmer has destroyed the goose that produced them. But as the story shows, true effectiveness is a function of two things: what is produced, that is, the golden eggs, and the producing asset or capacity to produce, that is, the goose. If you adopt a pattern of life that focuses on golden eggs and neglects the goose, you will soon be without the asset that produces the golden eggs. On the other hand, if you only take care of the goose with no aim toward the golden eggs, you soon won't have the wherewithal to feed yourself or the goose. Effectiveness lies in the balance, what I call the P by PC balance here. P stands for production of desired results, that is the golden egg, and PC stands for production capability, the ability or asset that produces the golden eggs. Okay, that's the end of this paragraph.
Okay, I want all of you, Murari and Fauzia, you've heard of the story? The goose that lays the golden egg?
Yeah, ma'am.
And
Yeah,
yes, then what do you think of the story and what he's saying? I need an answer, man. What do you think? What is he trying to show you? Why did he say what he did? Why did he even mention the story? What is he trying to explain?
yeah. Mm.
Okay. Shamnaz, why don't you just explain to them in your words and then we'll have a discussion. Then we can close the meeting.
Okay. Wait a minute. I'll just.
Yeah, can I tell?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like if you want a success in your life, you should work like day by day, and you should get to the day by day growth, and you should succeed in your life. No, like I want to succeed in one day means it will be uh, it is a failure. I think the story I come to know.
Okay.
Fausia, what do you think?
Same as Murari, but effects matters how we put the effects to the success.
Okay. Okay, so can I say something?
Please do, Shimnaz. That's why I said let
Okay.
yeah. I want all of you to discuss this as if you were in a book club, how
Okay.
you would do it,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So, in my opinion, like we have heard the story before, right? The goose story. So then it was a story like a story told to just make understand of the greediness of people. Like when people start getting things like day by day, the greed increases and they just want everything at once. So that was the moral of the story back then. But here the author has defined the story in a different way. He has shown the importance of the goose and the golden eggs together by means of effectiveness. Okay, effectiveness is something he tries to say by the story that here the farmer had the goose and he started getting the golden eggs too. Okay, so here this is like the two parts of an effectiveness. Goose is the one that produces the golden eggs, and golden eggs is the products what you get from goose. So here, what he should have done was to have balance, right? He should have kept the goose and he should have collected golden eggs forever. But no, what he did, he's wanted more and more and more, and he wanted everything at once. So what he did, he just killed the goose and he tried seeing inside and he found nothing. So what he did, he just eliminated the production, right? It's just the all that was left is asset. Like he just eliminated the production. So there's no use of just having the goose, right? If you don't have the golden eggs, that's the purpose is not served there. So what the author is trying to say, if you want that balance in your life, you need to have both. Okay, you need to have the asset and the production, and you have to have the balance in both. Okay, the balance lies the effective lies in the balance of both. You have to like go in hand. So if you modify the story, that balance is keeping the goose, taking care of the goose, and on the other hand you just collect the products, that golden eggs. So it should have been a balance. He could have lived forever as a wealthy man, but he didn't do that. He just lost the balance by killing the goose. So that's what I think the author is trying to say. Over to you, ma'am. You can.
Actually, that's exactly what the author is trying to say. That we get so short-sighted by greed, by different. We just don't think things through. Okay, so what he was saying is, just imagine like this. Uh, so after, so what happened? Just let's discuss the consequences of him killing the goose. All of you just think what happened after he killed the goose. I want you to just think about the story. What happened after he killed the goose? Murari, Fauzia.
He will be regretting, ma'am.
Okay. Murari.
Yeah, he will be disappointed in that, like what he was expecting in that.
Okay. So I am probably, because I am a person in my 50s, so my thinking is different. I think a little more practically. Okay. So what will happen? The goose is dead. There's no golden eggs coming. He's already spent off all the golden eggs in making lavish lifestyle. What'll happen? All the things he'll have to start selling because he has nothing to support his lifestyle. So he has to work now, right?
Yes.
So that's exactly what he's trying to say, that you should, by doing that, this man has lost the ability to uh, make make the most of his life. Because now what happens? He has nothing. So he's back to being an ordinary farmer with ordinary geese. What is there to separate him from the rest of them? Nothing. And because now he's used to all this, now what's going to happen? He can't sustain. So that's exactly what that man is trying to say is that you have to give importance to everything. Everything is important. But one thing, again, he'll probably tell you more about it. But I thought, I wanted to ask you people for that very reason. What do you think happened? Right? Okay.
It's like never take anything for granted, right? Whatever fortune you got, just have a balance about it. Never take anything for granted. Never think like, okay, this is it. There's nothing more to it. So I think, ma'am, if you see in the current generation, current world, this is what exactly is happening with the youth, right? They run behind so much success. They run behind all the luxury, everything. And maybe who knows, someday they will have the same same thing as this farmer, because all they chase is for luxury, for all this lavishness. So I think there's a point on others saying that. So never be like that. You have to have a balance in your life. Whatever you're getting, be grateful for that. Okay, whatever you're doing, you are getting now, just support yourself, support your loved ones, support your own life, and have a balance throughout your life. Never do something stupidity like what the farmer did. Okay, he just killed the goose, and yes, it's ended his fortune. So never do that in your own life. Always have a balance, keep a balance, and maintain it throughout your life. I think that's what I want to say to all of you.
I think what, Shamna, what's happening is, from what I've seen the world, okay? And I have had this argument with my own children.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So my children are in the 20s now, but when they were in the teens, we used to have this constant argument where I used to say, work hard. And they used to say, no, mama.
Work smart.
That's what the new, work smart is the new mantra. And I don't deny it. There is this thing of working smart. But at the same time, they all are looking at, see, oh my God, I had to again speak to them about, there's nothing like, what I would say, quick success. All they see on the net is people who succeed immediately.
Immediately, yeah. Very short period of time.
In very short period of time.
Yes.
They don't understand there's so many variables for that.
Sure.
Just because one succeeded in one thing doesn't mean everybody is going to succeed in everything in that. So this is what I want to tell you guys, that one, there's no shortcut to hard work. And two is the fact that don't get swayed by the internet reports, by this thing that says, oh my God, that guy made so much money, even I can.
Nothing is true, right?
Yeah. So we don't know how much. What is your take, Murari and Fauzia? I just said some things. What do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Because when I fought about this with my children, they were probably a little younger than you.
Yeah, ma'am, like you said was correct, ma'am. Like we should not make we should not go with easy and like easy and like ready-made food like that, ma'am. We should be work hard on. We should not every time hard work. Like we should work sometime smart work also, I think.
Okay. What about Fazia? Do you think I was right in telling that don't compare and make sure you work hard?
Yeah, ma'am. I agree with that.
Because all I see on the net now, comparison, and your social media is nothing but comparison.
Comparison, yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what we have a lot of changes we need to work on. So let's see how where this book will take us and how much it'll make us think and how much it'll make us change. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, and please do attend. These things will make you think, and frankly, I think it'll make us all better people. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shamnaz. I think we can
Thank
close
you.
the meeting.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you,
good
ma'am.
night. Okay.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night, ma'am.